Hi everyone, I am Dr. Jackie the PA, and if this is the first time you're on my channel, I welcome you. I hope you find something you like, something that's worth subscribing, commenting, all that jazz. And if this is the first time you're on my channel, I say it every single time because I genuinely mean it, okay? Like for real, for real. You're the real MVP because you return and you don't have to return. You don't have to return, and you do. So, today's video is going to be talking about first generation college tips. And I think this is important because I was a first generation college student and I feel like there is so much information that is not put out there for us to like make the process easier. And by first generation, I mean like you're the first in your family that's gone to college. So you ain't got nobody else to tell you what it is that you need to be doing in order to be successful. So I have 6 tips that I think are generally helpful for those who are going to college for the first time and you're the first person in your family. Okay. And a lot of this is speaking from my experience, and we'll just get into it. So, 6 things that I think every first generation college student needs to know. Number one, you do not need to be perfect. So when you are the first one in your family going to college, there is a lot of pressure for you to get this right and to succeed, like because you're the first in your family to do it. But I think what can come along with that is like this need to do it perfectly and have like the most perfect grades, and that just, you don't need to do all of that. So you need to do well, you need to be successful in finishing, but it's not going to be a perfect route because remember, you're the first one to do this and nobody's helping you that much along the way, except for me because I made this video for you. um, I have a list here because what'll happen is I sometimes go off on a tangent and I'll have my ideas in my head and then I go off and I start talking about something else. And then like right now, this is totally me being on a tangent, but you see me looking down, it's because I have some notes so I can say the right thing that I'm supposed to be saying. All right. um, the number 2 thing is studying in college is way different than it is in high school. Oh my gosh. So again, I was a first generation college student, and to be completely honest, I didn't really study how people study or how I studied in college. I was just gifted and smart and knew things, but college requires you to like really have a plan and study for real because I remember falling asleep in the second row of my anatomy and physiology class my very first semester. And yeah, you can't fall asleep because then you get a C, and C's come back to haunt you on your transcript. So, especially if you're trying to go to grad school. So, yes, figure out your studying style. That's number 3. You need to either learn what's your studying style or and then figure it out really quickly. So you you may be an auditory learner, like you learn best from hearing. You may be a visual learner. That was me. And you learn best, like if I write it down, I've written it in my brain and I remember it like for a really long time. So you may find it useful to use charts or rewriting your notes. And then there's some, you could be a hands-on learner. And for all subjects, unfortunately, in college, that is not going to be the case because everything is not going to necessarily be hands-on. So I think if you are like a mostly hands-on learner, you need to adapt some auditory things or some visual things in order to be successful. That's just my personal opinion, you know. Um, Number 3. Oh, that was the number. Oh gosh. So 1 is you don't need to be perfect. 2, you need to studying is different than and than it was in high school. And then number 3 is know and learn your studying style, or what type of learner are you? Okay. Get help. I think maybe I should have put that number 1, and this is not an order of importance. It's just the order that it came to me. But you're paying for college, right? And they have tutors. They have help that you can utilize. I say use that help because you're already paying for it. I think like no one told me that it's okay to need help and it is okay to get the help you need in order to be successful in the classes that you're taking, especially for your major. You want to do really well in these classes, especially if you plan on going to school past undergrad. But yeah, these people get paid. They're getting paid. You paying thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars. So you want to make sure that you're using what you need to be using. The next tip is, okay, short-term pain for long-term gain. And I say that because, man, um college can be definitely glamorized on TV, and you may feel like you're missing out on like the biggest parties and whatnot, but you're paying to be there. So while I do encourage you to have fun, I also think that you're gonna have to sacrifice, and unfortunately, that sacrifice may be some of your social life, um, and some family time. But it's short-term pain for long-term gain. So when you really think about like a year, for like maybe you have a heavy course load for a year, or maybe you have a heavy course load for 4 years. 4 years versus the entirety of your life is like this small. So yes, be ready to put in the sacrifice, okay? And then the last thing is the world won't end when you graduate. And I know you might be like, wait, what kind of tip is that? So maybe it was just my anxiety, but I was a first generation college student. I didn't have anybody in my family that could guide me and tell me like which way to go. And I didn't know anybody who had a college degree in my family or anybody who had a graduate degree in my family. So it was extremely stressful. And I definitely felt like the world was going to end. Like I just felt like the other shoe was going to drop and things were just going to go bad. And I'm here to say, like, after an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and a doctorate's degree, I'm still here. So it was definitely unfounded worrying. Um, I guess another bonus tip or extra thing that I didn't have written down is to, um, like, you want to plan your finances, but don't let your finances be a hindrance for you attending college and obtaining a higher degree, especially if you're going to a field like you want to be a doctor. Unfortunately, unless you're rich and you can pay up out of pocket, you're going to be taking out student loans. And I know student loans will be frowned upon, but in some situations, in some circumstances, like if you're the first generation college student, you're going to need some financial aid. If you grew up in poverty, that doesn't mean that you don't get to have an education. You just have to plan accordingly afterwards, like have a repayment plan in place, etc., etc. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, like, comment, share. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what else you think first generation college students need. Okay, bye.